My name's Jonathan Hudgens, and I'm sitting here with Darnell.
Actually, is Edward Overton. We have this painting here by Pablo Picasso. The name
Yes.
of Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. It was created in 1907. Matisse called it the death of painting. You know, I don't understand why. It's a magnificent painting right here.
Well, I mean, magnificent only in the eyes of the beholder. Like, I look at this, and I see complete crap.
I can tell the reason why I see it as a magnificent painting because I've seen prostitutes in my day walking the street, and I can tell from each perspective of each woman how they portray modern women in this day of age.
Okay.
For instance, if we go right here to the far left, we can tell that she's a professional. She knows what she's doing, and to the far right, you can see that those women are really wanting to get they seem that they contain pain. But yet overall, they still want to show desire of sexuality.
Yeah.
And the women in the middle, next to the woman from the far left, you can see that they look like they're fresh. That's why they don't have any different type of different mask on their face. You see what I'm saying? They're not holding anything back. They're just right there giving you the goods. You see? And what's crazy is the reason why the woman on the far left has a different type of face because Picasso studied Iberian and African art.
Right.
And that's an Iberian mask right there.
Okay.
And on the far right, you can tell, if you look at ancient African art, that those are African masks as well. Now, what I found out was that gender plays a role in this. Because men, when they went to see these prostitutes, they would always make them smile, make them want them to want them. The blue actually is curtains. Like if you go to Australia, the red, no, not Australia, the Amsterdam, the red light district, they're behind curtains. And they come in, they're sitting behind the curtains, showing their goods, showing what you're going to buy. You know, not saying they're a piece of property, but, you know, they're giving sex out. And the thing is, also, see how she's posing right there at the bottom right?
Right.
She has the legs open, ready for you to give it. Each woman had her own stands in a different booth, but it was crazy how Picasso can bring them all together as one. Okay.
Now, what we have here, can only be described as a shark.
Isn't the
in a tank.
The life and living or something like that?
No. Actually, yes, but the real title, this is by Damien Hirst.
Okay.
Real title is The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living. And it was done in 1981. Now, what you see here isn't the original shark.
Okay.
All right?
So if it's not the original shark, then how can it be real art? If it's not originality?
Well, because Damien Hirst also chose this shark too.
Okay.
So the first one wasn't preserved correctly.
Okay.
And so it started to decay faster than normal. So they had to replace it with the shark you see now. Now, when this came out, there was a huge uproar about what is and isn't art.
Okay.
I believe there was another artist who also took a shark and hung it up in a window.
Okay.
And said, basically, through that, he said, this isn't art. This cannot be considered art. He didn't make it. All he did was just capture a shark, put it in a tank of formaldehyde, and put it in a box.
So can we then realize that even though it's not on the canvas, and even though it may not be done by that person,
right,
physically, can we still state that this may still also be art?
Yes, because it's art not necessarily for art's sake. It's art with a meaning attached to it.
So if anything has a meaning to it, and
this has a meaning to it.
It can also still be art.
It can also be art because he chose it. He chose it, and by choosing it, he also gave meaning to it.
Okay.
And his meaning was he wanted us to really look at this idea of death. Now, let me ask you something.
What's going on?
When does one truly die? When does when does a person truly die?
I guess when their remains are gone.
When their remains are gone.
Yeah, when either they're brain dead or or they're just laying there just dead. I mean, there's no way you can just say when somebody's dead.
That's true, because even when someone dies, their cells are still alive.
Okay.
And their cells are still alive until their cells decompose. Someone isn't truly dead until they're just a skeleton that signifies the remains of what used to be. Now, he challenged this notion. He challenged death by saying, I can keep this shark alive.
Okay.
I can keep this shark alive. And he did that by putting it in formaldehyde, which, as you know, is a natural agent that helps slow down the decomposition process.
Okay.
And by doing that, he said, this shark is still alive. This shark may be dead, maybe legally dead, but if you think about it, its cells are still alive because I preserve them.
But so
I cheated death.
Okay. So at the end of the day, we still have art. Even though one may state that it isn't art.
Yes.
But at the end of the day,
it's art.
Another person may say it's still art.
And that's what makes this such an incredible piece. That's what makes this actually like the best piece we've learned about in this class. And yeah.
I think that's it.
I think we have it. So that's Jonathan, and Damien
is Edward.